Step back into the 70s, a decade where films took real risks and some of the boldest stories vanished in the shadows. These aren't just forgotten titles, they're true masterpieces. It's time to shine a light on 10 70s gems that deserve so much more. Starting strong with The Offence, and right away you see Connery drop the Bond persona for good. He's a burned-out detective, staring down a suspect and his own limits. No flash, no cool one-liners. The missing child case? It's just the starting point. What matters is watching a man unravel, one question at a time. Lumet keeps the camera tight. The walls close in. There's nowhere to hide, just raw nerves and exhaustion. Connery's anger isn't the usual fire. It's slow, steady, and worn out. You believe this guy's seen too much. The film keeps pushing guilt, suspicion, every ugly thing that can't stay buried. By the end, the crime feels less important than what's left inside the detective. This isn't a film people talk about now, but Connery puts it all out there. Lumet makes sure you can't look away. Connery gives his most vulnerable performance here, and the whole film feels like a raw nerve. Still, one of the toughest British dramas of the 70s, and one that almost nobody talks about. Next, you're in for something deceptively calm with The Other. It drops you into a farm summer that feels perfectly ordinary. Sunshine, chores, a pair of twins playing in the fields. But there's something off. The air is heavy, the quiet stretches on too long. Nobody's screaming, nobody's running, and that's the part that gets you. The real tension? It's in the way the camera lingers on faces a beat too long, or the way adults stop talking when the kids walk in. Every performance is tight, especially Chris and Martin Udvarnoky as the twins. They keep you guessing, and you start to wonder how much you can trust what you're seeing. There's nothing flashy here. No big music stings, no monsters in the shadows. Just ordinary life, slowly peeling away at the edges. The film isn't trying to shock you. It wants to make you uneasy. And it does. The longer you sit with it, the more that feeling settles in. Still one of the most quietly unnerving horror films of the era. No tricks, just patience and shadow. You want a story that creeps under your skin. 10 Rillington Place does exactly that. This isn't some pulpy serial killer flick. Richard Attenborough plays John Christie, all buttoned up and unassuming. Makes it even worse when you realize what he's hiding. Every move he makes is quiet, careful. The tension isn't in jump scares, it's in glances, in the way Christie's eyes never quite meet yours. He's ordinary, and that's what makes him terrifying. Judy Geeson and John Hurt round out the cast, playing ordinary people who stumble into something they can't escape. London feels small, rooms feel close. You're trapped in the flat with them, watching the noose tighten. Director Richard Fleischer doesn't rush, he lets the horror settle. The facts are all there. You keep wishing it wasn't true. Attenborough doesn't overplay it. He just lets the dread build, minute by minute. When the credits roll, you're left with that uneasy feeling. How evil can hide in plain sight. Still one of the most unsettling true crime dramas out there. Attenborough's performance sticks with you, long after the door shuts. Love hidden gems? Subscribe to Vintage Verse for more lost masterpieces every week. You can't pin this one down with plot. Images moves more like memory. Here, psychological horror goes quiet. No jump scares, no cheap stings. Just a woman alone in the countryside, and reality starts to slip. The sound design pulls you under, half whispers, distant echoes. You hear what she hears, whether it's there or not. Everything stays internal. No big breakdowns, just tension flickering in her eyes. You watch her try to hold it together, even as faces blur and voices overlap. The line between real and imagined gets thinner with every scene. The director, best known for big, messy ensemble films, strips it all down. Every cut feels deliberate. Those surreal moments, they don't scream. They just hang there and crawl under your skin. It's not about what happens. It's about what it leaves behind. Altman's most disturbing film, and maybe his most overlooked. Controlled, internal, and quietly unraveling. Then you get The Hired Hand, and it's a Western that refuses to hurry. You've seen Peter Fonda before, but here, he drops the bravado. He directs and stars and ditches every cowboy shortcut. No showdowns, no riding off in triumph. You follow a man circling back home after years lost on the trail, carrying more regret than stories. The pace is measured. You're watching distance close, then open again. Fonda makes calls most westerns won't. Conversations trail off. Looks speak louder than words. The land feels patient, almost waiting for something to change. Warren Oates rides alongside, steady, never pushing, letting every silence build. There's violence in their pasts, but the movie cares about what happens after the shooting stops. The camera gives every pause weight. You notice the waiting, the quiet tension, the way forgiveness never comes easy out here. A western that strips the legend down to the bone and finds something honest underneath. Fonda made one of the most quietly affecting films of the era. Then you hit Phase 4. And it's not like any sci-fi you've seen before. Saul Bass only directed one film, and this is it. Right away, you notice it's barely interested in dialogue. Two scientists holed up in a desert lab, ants acting weird, sounds B-movie enough, right? But the film won't play ball. Instead of jump scares or giant monsters, Bass delivers visuals, long, steady shots of ants building something you can't understand. Close-ups feel abstract, almost alien, though you're looking at creatures from your backyard. The mood holds tight, clinical, patient. You're never spoon-fed explanations, you just watch two men unravel as they try and fail to figure it all out. The quiet seeps into you. It's uncomfortable, but you keep watching anyway. Something about the way it's shot, the colors, the framing, makes it stick. Bast refused easy storytelling, went visual first, and didn't care if everyone got it. They didn't, of course. And that's exactly why it still matters. No other sci-fi film from the 70s looks or thinks like this. A strange, essential one-off from a visual master. Then you've got Winter Kills, the political thriller Hollywood tried to bury. On paper, it's JFK conspiracy stuff, a presidential assassination, cover-ups, secrets. But right from the start, you can feel something's off. Jeff Bridges stumbles through this twisted mess, uncovering lies stacked on top of other lies. It's paranoid, sure, but funny. Pitch black funny. The cast is loaded. Houston, Perkins, Bridges, everyone a little larger than life, playing their parts slightly tilted. The film mirrors late 70s America. Cynical, distrustful, exhausted by scandal. Every revelation just deepens confusion. Deliberate tonal swings keep you guessing. Serious one moment, absurd the next. Behind the scenes, nothing went smoothly. Production ran into organized crime, money dried up, and the film landed in legal chaos. Distributors backed off, and it quietly disappeared from theaters. Not an easy movie to sell, and maybe some people didn't want it seen. It's no masterpiece, uneven in places, but damn, it knew exactly what it was doing. The rare political thriller that actually earns the word unhinged. Still relevant, still bizarre, still buried. You touch down in Singapore, late 70s. Heat sticking to your skin, neon bleeding into shadows, and a hustler just trying to make rent with a bar on the edge of town. He isn't a kingpin. He's the guy you call when you need something done quietly. Knows every face in the after-hours crowd, keeps the right people happy, covers for friends, dodges trouble. Cops on one side, local heavies on the other. And just when you think you know the rhythm, the CIA steps in, an offer with strings attached, real money, but every bit as dangerous. That's when the real squeeze begins. Friends get nervous, rivals show teeth, and every choice means giving something up. Maybe your business, maybe your friends, maybe the city itself. The film never rushes. Every night feels sticky, every deal a little riskier. The main character's charm carries him, until it doesn't. You see what it costs to keep smiling when the world closes in. Easily one of the most overlooked films of the 70s. Quiet, humid, and sharper than it lets on. The kind that lingers with you. Forget the usual tough guy act. Hard Times strips Bronson down to the essentials. Walter Hill steps behind the camera for the first time and doesn't overreach. Just Depression-era New Orleans, underground fights, and coins changing hands in the dark. No flash, no build-up. Bronson walks in, does the job, walks out. James Coburn's the mouthpiece, slick, restless, always angling. Bronson barely speaks. That contrast carries the film. One hustles, the other hits. Hill doesn't waste time or shots. No exposition, no fat. Just Bronson stepping into bare-bones rings, fists up, silence before impact. You're not watching for dialogue, you're watching for what's held back. And when the punches come, they land. No slow motion, no music cues. just force, just survival. Hill lingers on the downtime, bruises, silence, waiting for the next one. It's lean, tight, and all muscle. Bronson's most grounded work, and still one of the strongest first films of the decade. Clean hit. No frills. Let's close with a 70s crime flick most people sleep on, The 7-Ups. You start in the grit of early 70s New York, dirty streets, colder faces. Roy Scheider leads an off-the-books squad chasing criminals with heavy sentences, 7 years or more. No Hollywood banter, no one-liners, just tension, silent surveillance, and trust stretched thin. If it feels like a cousin to The French Connection, that's intentional. Same DNA, same street-level realism, but stripped even leaner. Director Philip D'Antoni produced French Connection, and he learned exactly what worked. He shoots car chases tight and close, action sequences all raw nerves, no flash. Scheider moves through every scene like a coiled spring, quiet, intense, ready. Some people call it the unofficial sequel to The French Connection. Same world, same heartbeat, but with a different badge and new rules. Dialogue takes a back seat. Instead, it's about the rhythm of pursuit, the crackle of radios, eyes locked on targets. New York's streets and rooftops set the mood, relentless and tense. It never got the headlines or statues, but that's fine. What matters is how well it holds up. One of the most underrated crime flicks of the 70s, every bit as tight, gritty, and skillful as The French Connection, just without the awards. Thanks for watching Vintage Verse. Catch you next time for more buried gems and forgotten classics.